Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to take a moment to say hello and to take a few minutes to do a quick check-in video just to talk a little bit about where we're headed with the remainder of the semester in our Writing 440 class. It's hard to believe, but here we are, week 11, and we're coming down to the final push, the final few weeks of the semester. And our focus in Writing 440, as you probably have realized from the literature review that you guys did last week, is getting ready for the white paper and getting ready to write the white paper and getting ready to put that final project together. That white paper project will be a culmination of everything that we've talked about and everything that we've worked on all semester long with regards to clear and concise sentences, with regards to grammar, with regards to using headings in our documents, with regards to using short paragraphs. All of those things that we've talked about and worked on over the course of the semester will really be encapsulated in that white paper assignment as we move forward. So I wanted to step back for just a minute and talk about the literature review. I was going to send this video last week, but I know several of you all were working on your literature reviews. I had a lot of conversations with you all through email with several of you with and through Zoom chats, and we had a lot of discussion about the literature review. I know for a lot of you, this maybe caused a little bit of anxiety because many of you have not done a substantive research project like this since maybe freshman year or maybe ever, depending on what you took prior to getting into the accounting program here at Ole Miss. And that's perfectly understandable and perfectly natural. And those responses and feelings are perfectly understandable. And I understand that some of you had a little bit more experience with this, and some of you had a little bit less experience with this, and that's perfectly okay as well. But one of the things that I wanted to mention about the literature review is that really is such an important part of writing this white paper, because I always feel like, and some of you have had me in class before and have heard me talk about this a lot when it comes to research, the hardest part of any research project is exactly what we just did with the literature review, and even back before then with the topic proposal. And that is coming up with a topic, that is thinking about what aspect of that topic you want to focus on for your project, and then going out and finding the sources, reading the sources, and determining, okay, what is it content-wise in these sources that I want to keep and consider and think about moving forward with my research project. And that is always the most difficult and most time-consuming process. So the good news is we've gotten that part of the project taken care of and over with. We've identified the topic, we've researched the sources, we've used the databases, we've used Google Scholar and some of those other tools, CQ Researcher and others, to get that work done. You guys have picked 5 sources, you've identified which 5 sources you're going to really focus on for the white paper in terms of information that you're going to use and then kind of funnel into the white paper. I know a few of you have decided through this process that maybe the 4th or 5th source that you chose wasn't the best source, and some of you are doing a little bit of additional research, and that's okay too if that is you and that's where you fall in the process. But we've done the hard part first, and that is over with. And now basically what we're going to be looking at and working on is taking all of that information that you've read and all of that information that you have reviewed from the lit review, and then tailoring that information into a white paper, into the structure of a white paper document. So I don't want to get too far ahead of what a white paper is and kind of what the white paper document is, because starting next week, we're going to really be focusing on that for the remainder of the semester. We'll look at some sample white papers. We'll look at some sample white papers that students have done in previous Writing 440 classes. We'll also look at some white papers that companies in business and industry produce on a yearly basis. So you'll get a sense of what a Writing 440 white paper looks like, but also what a white paper looks like for business and industry that produce these. So one of the things that you'll probably will notice if you go online and just do a Google search for white papers, you will probably see some of these white papers are in excess of 35, 45, 50 pages. We are certainly not going to do something that large in this class. We're going to do a much smaller, much more truncated white paper. And so all that information is coming forward. But I think what you're going to find is, having done the research, having done the lit review, having done all of the sort of the heavy lifting up front, all you have to do then is kind of take that information and tailor it into a sufficient, structured, well-written white paper. And one thing I wanted to add about the white paper, if that assignment makes you nervous, and I know some of you are nervous about this because you've been asking about the white paper assignment for a few weeks, and that's perfectly fine as well. Feel free to ask anytime, or reach out to me if you ever want to talk about the paper or any of your anxieties or concerns with it. But we are going to build the white paper in stages. So we're going to turn parts of it in at various times, and that way you'll get some feedback from me on what you've submitted so far and what you're doing so far with the white paper, so that if there are any changes that need to be made, any revisions that need to be made, or if you're heading down sort of the wrong path with the white paper, we can fix those problems and make those changes and corrections early on, as opposed to you just turning in the white paper at the end of the semester and then realizing, oh, well, I could have done this, or maybe should have fixed that, or if I had known I needed to work on that, I would have had time to do that. We're going to take care of all that by building it in stages. So we'll have like 3 separate stages of the white paper in terms of parts of it that you'll turn in. I'll take a look at it, give you some feedback, send it back, and you'll have an opportunity to make some corrections and revisions. So no one's going to get left behind. No one's going to get left in the dust on this project. We're going to build this in stages as a group, as a class, moving forward. So I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that, and also talk a little bit about the lit review and kind of how that factors into and builds into and supplements and supports this white paper assignment. Again, I think you will find once you get into writing the white paper that it's going to go extremely well for you. It's going to go very smoothly for you, mainly because you picked a topic that you're interested in, but more importantly, you've done all the good scholarly research ahead of time with that lit review, and it's going to make the white paper assembly process much smoother for you. So if you have any questions about the white paper, if you have any questions about anything else going on in the class, please feel free to let me know as we get into the sort of the teeth or the meat and potatoes of the white paper. I'm happy to look at drafts or talk to you about it, or we can chat through email. I know several of you, we talked on Zoom with the literature review, so I'm happy to do that as well with the white paper. Just reach out and let me know if you have any questions or concerns about that or anything else going on in the class. So I'm working on the literature review. Speaking of those for the last time, I'm working on them right now. So they take me a little bit longer to read than some of the other assignments. So I'm getting to them as quickly as I can. And as soon as I've read yours and made comments and feedback on them, you'll get those scores sent back to you in Blackboard. So I'm working on them as quickly as I can, and I'll get them back to you as fast as I can. I will say the ones I've read so far, you all did an excellent job with them. I saw no major problems. Several of you, I looked at drafts and partial drafts of your lit reviews, and those were excellent. So you guys did a great job on those. And again, I know some of you haven't done something like this for a long, long time in your college careers, and that's perfectly fine. But you guys did a great job. What I've read so far has been really, really terrific. So I think you did a great job, and that's going to make your white paper assignment, as I mentioned a moment ago, a much better and smoother process for you. So hope you're well. Hope everything is going well. Again, stay in touch. Keep in touch. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you along the way, or if you have any questions or concerns about anything. And we'll be in touch again soon.